Hi, welcome. This is Frank McDonough from the Arboretum of Los Angeles County. Got some sound and we're back connected to the server. Life is good. And I was talking about giant whitefly, especially on hibiscus. And here's another picture of giant whitefly. How do you know you have giant whitefly? Besides the hairy, waxy tendrils or filaments that come down, and those filaments are there to do two things. They protect the whitefly from drying out, and they protect the whitefly from predators, and they're very good at protecting the whitefly from predators, by the way. This is another sign or indication that you have giant whitefly, and that is these paths or trails that you see. A lot of times they're in the shape of a bullseye. Now, what happens with these, there's not much you can do besides what's called syringing. Syringing is taking a high-pressure stream of water and spraying the pests off. And you don't have to do much more. It used to be back when there was nothing out there to control this, you'd recommend something like Bayer Advanced Tree and Shrub, which I don't like to recommend to use anymore at all. But now all you have to do is wait for the temperature to get warmer, and parasites, which have been intentionally introduced by the USC system, UC Riverside and UC Berkeley both got together and looked for parasites for this pest and found them and brought them over. The parasites, when it gets warmer, start getting active and they start parasitizing this pest, and its numbers and the amount of infestation of the pest goes way down. So you basically don't have to do much unless there's a lag period because of cool weather, and that's what we're having now. And a lot of people are starting to have problems with giant whitefly because it's still too cool to wake up the parasite. So you can do one of two things. Again, you can syringe. If the damage is this bad here, you can clip off the damage. And the other thing you can do is wait. I wouldn't use pesticides, and the reason is you don't want to kill off the parasitic wasp that is going to control this thing eventually. Now let me show you what's blooming out in the Arboretum. Yesterday I went over some of these things, and everything got cut off because of the network. Now it looks like the network's running fairly decently, so let me go over these again and a couple of others that are brand new. If you go to the greenhouse that's located just north of the Garden for All Seasons, you will find these things. These are nepenthes, or pitcher plants. They are carnivorous plants. They eat insects. And if you notice, there's a lip around this pitcher. The pitcher develops on the end of the tendril, which is on the end of the leaf. And those red stripes you see there indicate grooves, very smooth grooves that are just about impossible for insects to get a grasp on. And so when an insect lands on this highly attractive red color, red is attractive to a lot of insects because it represents ripe fruit or dead meat, bloody wounds, whatever. So the insects are attracted to this. There's also scent glands, and there's also nectar glands on this that attract the insects. They slip down into the pitcher and are digested for their nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Elements that are really tough for the nepenthes vine, and it's a vine, to find in its native area. And it's native to areas of Indonesia, New Guinea, the tropical parts of Australia, and the Philippines. And it's native to areas where it's either growing up in trees and can't get very much moisture at all besides what it gets from small roots there, or it's growing on swamps that are very sterile because they're highly acidic. Now here is one of my favorite nepenthes. This is Nepenthes bicuculata, and the reason it's my favorite is that it has a relationship with ants. They're at the base of the leaf where it attaches to the tendril that eventually forms the pitcher. It will swell when ants are present, a certain species of ant, and provide a home for the ants. The ants will burrow into this, and it'll be a protective home. Those ants, in turn, for that, provide the pitcher plant with a service that it really needs, and that is to thin out the amount of insects that it gets in the pitcher. If these pitcher plants get too many insects in them, those insects, the nitrogenous waste becomes corrosive and it can kill the pitcher. So these ants thin out the prey load, I guess you'd call it, the load of dead insects down there. And they're the only ants I know that are able to swim in this pitcher. They can swim in the pitcher. The waxy coating of the pitcher and what you see is around the rim, that grooved area, doesn't faze them. They can navigate throughout the entire pitcher. It's amazing. Now, when you get tired of that, you can look at this. This is in our weaver's garden. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Looks like fireworks, doesn't it? Now, that is a picture of Xanthorrhoea quadrangulata, the Australian grass tree that is located in our weaver's garden. And the weaver's garden is a collection of shrubs and vines that are used for weaving and fiber, and it's located just west of Ayers Hall. That's the big meeting hall that we have. Do take a look at the weaver's garden. We have a new gardener who's taking care of that, Frank, and Frank's doing a great job over there, so do check it out. And lastly but not leastly, can you guess what this is? Look at that. Isn't that a fascinating looking seed pod? What's it to? It's a seed pod to this aloe right here, which is a very funny aloe. This is Aloe Suzanne, native to the Madagascar Peninsula. I'm sorry, Madagascar Island. It's not a peninsula. Madagascar Island. And the funny thing about this aloe, if you look at the inflorescence on it, it does not have an inflorescence. Inflorescence being a cluster of flowers, does not have an inflorescence like most aloes you see in South Africa.